Hey there, Danielle Bernack from DanielleBernack.com. Love Yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Coming to you live from my car, like I often do. And I want to ask you, what is your emotional range? What do I mean by that? Well, we have a range of emotions. We know this. We've heard that term. We have a range of emotions. Well, we need to look at our emotions as the full spectrum that we have been given. Children are born with the full range of emotions. Let's give them a number from 1 to 10. 1 being despair, and all the really ones that feel sad and bad, and then the other one, 10, ecstasy and elation and exhilaration. So that range is from that one side all the way to the other side. And when children are born, they experience the full range of emotions very strongly, very viscerally. And I'll stop here to explain what visceral is in case you don't know. Visceral is a physical sensation of an emotion. Like when people talk about getting butterflies in their stomach or a frog in their throat or other things like that, a nervous stomach. It's a physical representation of an emotion. Well, children are born with all of these. You know how you've probably witnessed they can go from laughing to crying in just a second. They can go from just completely losing their mind to being completely playful. And this is a very wide range of emotion. As children, they have that gift. And as they grow up, what they need to do is learn the skill of how to operate all those emotions so that they will be able to take advantage of them. But what happens to many children and adults as they grow up, they shorten that range of emotions. They suppress emotions and they squish them into the middle, and they live in a range of what I've heard it called 4 to 6ers, or they're also called emotional survivors. And they do this because they're trying to avoid the pain. And there's a couple of ways that people come across being like this is they experience trauma, they grow up in a volatile household, or they go through trauma and they can't deal with it. They're not taught how to deal with it. They're just traumatized, and they're so young, their brain's just doing that. And so they suppress those emotions and they live in that middle range, and they don't experience the high elation, but they also don't experience the really hard emotions on the one range. But there's also people who grow up in houses who the parents are emotional survivors, and the whole environment is emotional survivors, and they mirror what they know. And we come across it in a very honest way. And there can be benefits to it. There are people who would argue that they don't want to do anything about this. They don't want to change anything because it keeps them stable. They're fully functional. They hold a job. They've gotten married. They do all kinds of wonderful things. And they do have a good life. But there's something missing. And they feel that. They may suppress that just like the other emotions. But it becomes undeniable when another crisis occurs, because those emotions on the one side are poking that range and forcing them to do something about it. So I want to ask you today, where do you live in the range? Do you live in the full spectrum of emotions? Have you learned emotional skill to be able to operate them and feel the ones at either end, to sit in your pain when you need to sit in your pain so that you can heal, to experience the elation and exhilaration of the big highs, but be able to manage in the middle also, because that is a gift to be able to have all the full range and the skill to operate them. That is really thriving. But if we live in the middle, if you find yourself that maybe you're stuck in depression down in the 1 to 3 range or something, and I want to encourage you, if that's you, to seek out counseling. I'm not a counselor, so I don't want to say contact me because I believe you need a counselor, and a counselor will help you come out of that depression and help you to expand your emotions so that you can experience joy once again. And if you're in the high part, where you're just happy all the time and you're never dealing with anything, well, then maybe you need to hire me as a coach to help you sit in your pain a little bit to, let yourself expand that. Or maybe you need a counselor for that too. You decide. As I said, I am not a counselor, but I am a coach, and I can help you thrive in life. I can help you come out of emotionally surviving into emotionally thriving. And one thing I can give you, if you find yourself, you just need to expand it a little bit, you're in the 4 to 6 here thing, and you're like, I'm not ready to have someone help me. Well, I'm going to give you one thing you can do to work on expanding your space a little bit more in the high end, because that's funner. That's not a word, but I like to use it anyways. To expand your 4 to 6 to maybe 4 to 7, then maybe 4 to 8, is do some playing. Do some playing. Find my broadcast. I have a broadcast before this time about how to add fun to your script. Listen to that. Watch that. And see how you can add play. I also have one about play. So add that to your life. Add some play to your life and expand your emotional range so you can enjoy your life more. Because even though there may be some advantage to the stability of being a 4 to 6er, an emotional survivor, I have lived there before, but I want to thrive, and I want you to thrive. You are cutting yourself off from being fully human and thriving if you don't enlarge your range. And I share this with you because I love you. And so until next time, I'm Danielle Bernack from DanielleBernack.com. Love yourself from Survive to Thrive, that lady on the internet who loves you. Bye-bye.